Does that present opportunities for crime? Is that pretty easy for somebody walking down the street to just walk in the door and steal whatever they want to? Walk up to the car, whatever it is. These are all common sense things that some people, they haven't wrapped their mind around yet. My parents are that way. My parents live in northern Wisconsin. They don't lock their vehicle doors. No, they don't. I mean, if you're cold, somebody come in. Go ahead and hit that. What could you do to take away that opportunity for crime? These are all things that you got to look at: your house, your vehicle, your lifestyle, your pattern, how you do things. Go ahead. This is kind of tough without a clicker. I can't. Lock your vehicle. Never leave valuables in the vehicle. Let's just stop with that one. Maddie, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, if you lock your door and they really want in, then you have to decide, do you have something in there valuable enough, or is your door being knocked down more expensive than whatever they're going to take? Wow.
Okay, I'm not going to call on you again. What are valuables in your vehicle? Computer, cell phone. What about a gym bag? What about a gym bag? I'll get to that in a second, Bob. Garage door opener. What about a gym bag? A zip gym bag. Is that valuable? It's got dirty clothes in it, sitting on the back seat.
No, but they don't know that. They may think something else is in there.
That's right. They don't know that. Cars parked on the street in the driveway, somebody walking, they see a bag. Do they know what's in it? No, they don't know what's in it. Is it easy to smash a window and go get the bag? Absolutely. So I'm a big proponent of removing everything from the car. How many of you still carry your insurance cards and your registration card and all that stuff in the glove compartment? Is that valuable information? Because what happens in society nowadays?
But when you pull us over, you ask for it.
Okay, there we go. When I pull you over, you ask for it. What else do you carry on you when you're driving? Do you and your wife carry on you when you're driving usually? Or in a car? Well, hopefully, you're probably carrying one of these. I'm going to hope you're carrying one of those. You might be carrying a purse. Does that little piece of paper that's your registration and your insurance card fit in a wallet or a purse? Absolutely. Because if I'm a thief, they do that. They break into cars just to steal people's information. You're at work, they break into your car, and they find your registration. Your registration and your insurance card has your address on it. So now they know where you live. They know you're at work, and they got your garage door opener to boot. Where do they go? They go to your house, and they go to your garage, and they get in. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm a big proponent, and that's what I do. I carry my registration and my insurance. It's in my wallet, because then I know it's on me. And my wife carries it in her purse, and she knows it's on her.
Registration works pretty good. You get 2 copies, you usually have 2 drivers. You only get 1 copy of your insurance card.
I get as many as I want.
Call your
You can
agent.
get call your agent. Yep.
Yeah, your agent will give you more
Also,
insurance.
like parking lots downtown, when we used to have registration strapped around the steering column and stuff. You give them your keys, you give them your address, everything that's on there, plus your car.
Right. We're in an information society now. Everybody wants everybody else's information. Identity theft and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to make it easy for those people. The way we did stuff before, it doesn't work now because of the sophistication of the criminals that we deal with. Yes?
If a family member, you have several cars and several kids, and somebody drives your car, and a child, let's say, or a friend here, and they don't have a registration or an insurance card with them and they're pulled over, do they receive a ticket for that?
It depends on the officer that pulls them over. Okay, if I have different means of verifying the information, normally I can verify stuff, and it's fairly easy for me to do that, but I'm not going to speak for every officer on the street in every jurisdiction. Okay, yeah, that can propose a problem, but that's why multiple copies and things like that. You can explain it. You can tell the kids to explain it and things like that. Okay.
A lot of times in the court system, yes, you can get a ticket for it, but as soon as you produce the documents, the
Right.
ticket is removed.
Right.
Oh, really?
Right. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Have you had this happen where somebody breaks into the car, goes in the glove compartment, gets the information,
And then drives to that house?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then
They break into the house. They know you're at work. You're probably on the phone with the police or standing out there with the police reporting the crime. Or maybe you didn't even know. You work in an office complex or something like that. Your car got broken into in the parking lot. You don't even know it until you come out at the end of the day.
So what do they use for a key? I mean, how do they?
Garage door open.
No, I mean to drive where they broke into the car to your house.
They're in their own.
They're in their own vehicle.
Yeah,
They're not
take
stealing
the
your
car.
vehicle.
I got
They're
it.
stealing your information.
That's
Okay? They know you're at work, that you're not at home. So I go in and look, oh, you live at such and such address. I drive to that address and break into your house, take your garage door open or whatever it is. Yeah, that definitely happens. Okay? Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I've got 4 kids in a minivan, so I'm not even going to go. But they'll steal out of that. Go to the next one. Trim your bushes and trees. Those of you that were, I think, 2 or 3 times ago, we talked about CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design. Okay, it's a big thing that we do, and we can actually come out to houses and do security surveys. I'm actually doing one tomorrow for a lady in one of the neighborhoods that she's worried about her lighting and her bushes and locks and stuff like that. Use us as a resource. I have no problem with scheduling that stuff and coming out and doing those things. Telling you maybe you need a light here, maybe you need to trim these down, trim this up, lock these windows, whatever it is. Those are things that we can do, and those are things that you can evaluate on your own. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Install and maintain lighting. I'm a huge lighting fan. If I could light everything up like a football field, I'd do it. Because criminals, a lot of times, they operate in the dark. They don't like to be seen and things like that, at night. If you light something up and you keep it well lit and keep it maintained, it shows that ownership, and they're less likely to look at your house. They're going to look at the neighbor down the street that doesn't have any lighting. And then you go knock on the door and say, you need to get your lighting up. I went to this class, and this guy told me. Go ahead. Guy with a gun and a smile. Express ownership. That could come in many different ways. Putting your name out there. This is the Sprister's house. Whatever it is. Just letting people know that walk by, whether it's the neighbors or the bad guys, that this is your house, you like your house, and you're going to maintain your house. It's simple as can be. Okay? Make the front of your house visible. That goes along with trimming the bushes and the lighting and that kind of stuff. Make it look like you're watching. If you have a house that faces a street, a sidewalk, something like that, you don't want it real set back and covered with all these trees and, you could barely see out and things like that. You want to make it look like people that are walking by, people that are looking at your house, you're looking at them. It's going to make them less likely to think that they can get one over on you. Okay? Meet the youth who live on your block and greet them by name. Give me some ideas on this one. What do you guys think of this one? It's a great idea. Learn the kids that are on the street. You get to learn the families that way. Are we a little bit hesitant to talk to kids in a neighborhood and stuff like that? Sometimes you are. Right. But once you introduce yourself to them, you're not a stranger anymore. And that opens up the lines of communication with those neighbors that maybe you didn't know. You meet the kid, you meet the parents, the adults, whoever it is, it opens up this whole new world. These guys are out there, they see a lot of stuff that's going on. They're kind of like my transients up here on Colfax. If I need information about something, I go ask one of those guys because they're always sitting around watching. The kids are usually out in the street playing. They see what's going on. They tell you if this is going on down the street, if somebody's got dogs over here, or somebody's driving too fast over here. They know what's going on. Let's move on with that. Make a list of the names of every neighbor on your block. How many of you know every single neighbor on your block? It's a lot more than I expected. A lot more than I expected. This is something that's kind of gone by the wayside as our society has become very transient, has become very, I'll say 24-hour-ish, where you never know who's working when and when they're coming home and things like that. We're real standoffish. You know, this is one that I struggle with. I don't know every neighbor on my block.
They had neighborhood watch where we
Right.
used to live, which was also in Lakewood. In Lakewood Park.
Did everybody hear that? Talking about neighborhood watch?
I don't see any of up in this neighborhood, the neighborhood watch signs.
I guess you're our next neighborhood watch captain. That's a huge program, is Neighborhood Watch. And it's something that's kind of, and this was in my unit, there's six, well, there's supposed to be 6 guys. There's 5 guys in my unit, and we just had a meeting the other day, and this was one of the things that we discussed for probably 45 minutes, was reevaluating our Neighborhood Watch program and trying to engage you guys as the community into getting more involved in it and starting up these programs and doing all those things. So it's one of those things that's coming. We just hired a new volunteer coordinator, and they're kind of in charge of that Neighborhood Watch program, but we're thinking about how we can re-engage and get it going again. Okay? Paul?
Yeah, I'd like to propose that you consider an extension of that to, now that we've got light rail coming through, that station area watch. So,
That's a good idea. Very good idea, because that line's going to go right through all the neighborhoods, and you guys are going to be, you know, on the front lines watching out what's going on within those. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Neighborhood Watch is that one tool that you could get out there. Whose fault is it that we don't know every neighbor on the block? It's all of ours. We get complacent with this stuff. Yeah, I get home from work. I don't, you know, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do that? Do I want to go talk to this person? Oh, they're new. Oh, this house got foreclosed on. I got to meet new people. Whatever it is, it's our fault. And that's what this is. You guys are all out here. Take charge. Take charge of your neighborhoods. We're trying to improve our neighborhoods. Okay? Talk about problem solving. You guys see problems. Collaborate with your neighbors. Hey, do you know Joe down the street, 3 houses down? Did you see what he did? Did you see whatever it is? You guys know each other, or once you get to know each other, you talk about that stuff. Figure out how you can solve it, and if you can't do it, you can't brainstorm, then you come to us. Or you come to us, and then we all brainstorm. Okay? Make a list of the landlords in your area. This is a huge thing. Do we have a lot of rental property up here, north of 6th Avenue? A lot of rental property. Do you guys know the landlords of a lot of these rental properties? You have them on speed dial. Okay, well, I commend you for that.
I'm awake at 2 o'clock. You're going to be awake at 2 o'clock.
Right. A lot of people don't. Do you know the landlords of all the single-family homes in the neighborhood? On your block. Well, it's a huge thing. Here, click it for me, Cindy. Sorry. They have to be responsible to you guys as a community. Anybody that's here long term, they have to be responsible. Is it acceptable to have these absentee landlords that don't care who they put in their places, that don't maintain their places? It's not. But it's your responsibility to call them on it. How do you call them on it? We'll get to that in a minute. Concerns about the health of the community. Does the community deteriorate as there's more rentals? It depends. It depends. I mean, there's studies, you never know. If you got a whole group of really good landlords that are maintaining this stuff, you guys are involved, maybe not so much. Maybe you could turn that around. Crime-free housing program. There's a few, and I'm not going to pick them out here, but there's a few landlords, managers, owners that are in here that participate in the Lakewood Crime-Free Multi-Housing Program. They do a good job. They do an excellent job because they're involved. They do background checks on their tenants. They get a daily alert from our computer system that tells them that the police were out there. It tells them about problems before they can fester and turn into a snowball and all that kind of stuff. Who's the greatest salesperson for this crime-free housing program besides already landlords, owners, people that are in the program? Neighbors. You guys. You guys can sell them this program. You can say, hey, I noticed, you're having problems. I'm up at 2 in the morning. This isn't right. Lakewood, the police department, they've got a program. maybe you want to take a look at it. Here's a business card, or here's the name of Agent Sprister. Give them a call.